That's the way to be. Like, as far as like colorism, what like?
Oh, I'm sorry for you.
Oh, I have two light skinned little girls. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, do I see a difference in how I grew up? A little bit, you know, because they cute, you know, they my babies. But, you know, they are
my goddaughters.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like I was a cute girl too, but then I did have my insecurities because of my body shape.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't really a color thing for me.
So not necessarily for your hue, your
Right.
complexion.
Right.
Yeah. I guess for me, I've always kind of struggled with my complexion. You know, just wanting to be a deeper hue, wanting to be darker. But as far as like colorism, that's something I necessarily can't speak to, right? Because honestly speaking, you know, that's what they choose. They do choose, like everyone knows it. Cat Williams was clear. When you become a star, you get a light skinned ugly wife or a light skinned pretty wife, but you get a light skinned wife.
Maybe.
Didn't he say that
I
though?
was mad about that too.
But he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
And you get, you know, certain aspects and certain doors open, and you get certain privileges due to the aesthetic that they put together for you.
True.
And then a lot of times you have society with this aesthetic of the light skin, and then sometimes they automatically assume you get more, and sometimes, you know, you get bullied for your complexion because you know they automatically assume you get more. So I think that's something that I've thought about, and I've been bullied for it, but I don't necessarily feel, now this is just me speaking a light skinned person, I don't necessarily feel I've really experienced colorism based on the level as Candace or you, because like it's a different, you know, like it's just different. Like as she mentioned before, like getting told you're pretty to be a dark skinned woman is not necessarily a compliment.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
You just need to be like, oh, you're pretty, period. You see what I'm saying? So that's not necessarily something that I have even, you know.
But it goes back to us. I'm saying us, just like people in society in general, just ascribing to that European standard of beauty.
For sure.
And so that's not even just an American thing. Like you're seeing that in Africa and other countries
Asia
as well. And it's like, wow, we are all tainted, you know, as it relates to that perspective. Like, why is that the standard? And you got to think about what that was rooted in anyway. Like,
Correct. Yeah.
crazy.
No, it was rooted in slavery, but it was also rooted in the caste system. Because even the way that I mentioned Asia or whatever, and you have your dark Asians, and then you have the ones that are fairer. The ones that are darker, you know, they like, well, you worked in the farms or you worked in the rice fields, so you had a lot of sun, so therefore you must be poor or not as smart than the ones that are. And they have that in Southeast Asia. They have that same I don't know what to call it. Colorism, yes, but that same that word gonna come to me because it's one brewing. But they have that same type of narrative in, like you said, different countries and all over. And I don't. You said you wonder where it came from. Of course, for us, for those who are Black American, I say slave Black. It comes from slavery, right? But then again, when you think about it, it comes from, like, you know, having money. Because just going back from our narrative in the history, you know, the darker than the paper bag test. And so if you think, and I hate mentioning this, and some people get upset with me when I mention this, but like, y'all know Jack and Jill, right? Have you ever noticed that the people that are in Jack and Jill are like light skinned or not as dark as a paper bag?
No, I actually never noticed that.
A lot of people are the ones that I've been privy to, or the ones that I've seen. I'm like, I don't see a lot of dark women or a lot of dark skinned kids, or either it's a like I said, the aesthetic light skinned woman, dark skinned man. Like, I don't see a lot of, you know, I do see a lot of racial ambiguous children in Jack and Jan.
Yeah. Actually, it really hurt my heart. I know a dark skinned woman who basically her intention was to her mate was gonna be white because she wanted lighter kids, and so that was just like, dang, what type of damage has happened to your self-esteem to where like you're intentionally in this horrible relationship for the benefit of having fairer skinned kids,
light skinned,
and you'd be surprised how many people like that's their reality. And that really sucks because that speaks to an unhealed place in you. And many of us don't even realize that's an unhealed place because it's our norm.
Yeah.
Ugh. I hate that. What about you?
This kind of goes back into, not to put my parents on blast, but I mean just like their friends and how the things that they talk about, it comes from like that generation too. The baby boomers.
Oh yeah. And the silent generation.
Yeah. So it's more like, even when I was dating, I would hear family members, man doesn't want to look dark. You don't want your kids to be dark, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, no, I'm gonna love my kids no matter what they are. But it's just it just stems back from the society of what beauty is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And so I never agreed with that because I'm gonna love who I want to love.
Yeah.
I just don't want them to be ugly. Now that's ugly
people need love too.
I get that.
Ugly people need love too.
Yes, I know, but I'm just you gotta look at them every day.
So that's a good transition to the next question, because like, do you feel like you fit the pretty standard, the societal pretty standard, on what we see on Instagram, social media in general?
See, I feel like right now we in this BBL era.
Yeah.
So it's that, and that's not, truth be told, that's not even pretty to me because the bodies are not aligning.
They look crazy. It's just
weird.
But standard that we're seeing is giving BBL, is giving breast implants. But I feel like I fit the standard because I'm so confident in who I am. There's this lane of just natural beauty. And I walk in that lane heavy and happily. You know what I'm saying? With my head high, like I know that is me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love that for you. What about you?
I don't know. I still struggle with certain things.
Yeah.
So that's just something that I have to heal within.
Yeah, I think sometimes I fit the beauty standard and sometimes I don't. Like, it just depends on the day.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it depends on the day. Like, it depends on, like you said, like, some days you be looking real cute. So, yes, you fit the beauty standard. And then some days you be looking a little rough. A little rough. So, maybe not this beauty standard. Right. Maybe a little... I was about to say something. Maybe a little Crenshaw beauty standard. Maybe a little baby beauty standard. So, maybe, things like that have changed. So, like, I guess, here's the other thing, guys. Do you think that you get more privileged by the way you dress? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like, it's this article that, do y'all watch Tam show? The Tam show? The talk show? Well, she put up the article and she stated that, like, clothes can make the person. And basically make you more confident. So, like, and then it was another article that I read that, like, depending on how a woman dresses. Now, I don't know if men really had this problem, but I know for real, for, like, women, depending on how women dresses and how they are kept, that's how society treats her. Like, even if she goes out into the public, right? Depending on, like, if she in sweats and a t-shirt compared to what she would look like now, they would probably treat the person who looks more put together than the person in sweats and a t-shirt.
Yeah. But I also think it depends on, and I'm thinking about a man's what I saw a man do. So we're all out to eat. This girl who has a BBL, very nice dress, very form-fitting, showing a little bit of this and that. Multiple women are leaving. He specifically walks this person out to their car. Right? Multiple women leaving, meaning at different times. Like, so he could have offered the same thing to this other woman, who got on a pantsuit, very covered, very nice. So I think it depends on the perspective of that man and how what's beautiful to him. Because you still have a group of men, like I said, who like the BBL. You have a whole nother group of men who like very natural, don't have no BBL. You know what I'm saying? So that to me makes a difference when you asking that specific question.
Yeah. What about you? Do you feel like women are treated differently based on, how they present themselves?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 I don't, you know what? But then again, like you said, we go to the grocery store and we looking raggedy.
And they do
And then
approach.
right. So
They do.
again, it goes back to Candace. It just depends on the preference of the male. Do you like somebody that is more natural looking, or do you want somebody that looks, put together all the time? And see, for me, that gets boring no matter what it is. If I have to look comfortable all the time, that's gonna get boring to me. If I have to be on point, that gets boring. So I like to switch it up to keep myself on, keep myself on top of my toes. So it just, I don't know. I don't even be, when I was in the dating era, I had to keep myself together, and I was just like, Lord, please bring me somebody, because I cannot keep up with this. It's too much.
No, you do.
God, please.
Listen.
I mean, not to say I don't, keep myself for my
No,
husband.
you're right.
But
It is. No,
the fact is,
that's
like,
a good.
Jesus, please.
That's a good segue though, because for women who are single, like it is more precious to be like to keep yourself up, because then. If she be looking rusty, like that's why she ain't got no man. Like that's why. That's what I'm for real. That's what society thinks. That's why she ain't got no man, because that's how she look. That's how she decides to go out the house with. So it's funny that you should bring that up, because that's exactly what we deal with when you are like a single woman.
Yeah, but I guess I don't experience that because